Hey there, it's Stereo Police. Oh, got a ding in my ear. It's Stereo Police. Stereo Police. Hey guys, it's one of my more rare audio related videos done in a while, but I've been up to some things and getting trying to get back into the hobby. Forgive my voice. I've been working in the yard for about 6 hours today during pollen season, and it's quite challenging, shall I say. But topic tonight, make it quick. Full range speaker, one of my favorite concepts of all time. A full range speaker. I've heard a lot of them. I reviewed one. I filmed one down at Carytown Audio that I really liked. One of the most impressive ones, probably eight or 7 or 8 months back. You can see that. Um, Very, very impressive, but throughout the years, ever since I heard my first Bose 901 when I was a child, not that I'm saying it's a good speaker, but I've always been infatuated with full range drivers and their abilities to reproduce the almost the entire sound spectrum with fidelity, and the fact that full range drivers were pretty much the norm early on in the early years of hi-fi. Um, Back in the oh what the 40s, 50s, 1950s, until horns started making their appearance, but and then paper domes. But I still think, in many senses, we many of our troubles in hi-fi. Well, first of all, almost all of our troubles come from loudspeakers these days, and within the realm of loudspeakers, most of our troubles come with respect to crossover networks, and phase distortion, and amplitude distortion, and resulting acoustic distortion that they add. I'm choosing my words carefully not to get too technical. But a full range driver obviates all of that. But everything comes with a trade-off, and I found that many of the trade-offs are either great bass or a lack of high frequency presence and intricacy, or great high frequencies and mids, but severely shallow on the bass end and no impact. It's always something. And I've heard back-loaded horns and acoustic suspension, infinite baffle, ported. I've heard the Realm. I've heard the Fostex drivers, Lolders, just all of them, but never really been impressed by any one of them in terms of tackling the ultimate challenge. So one of my goals, one of my bucket list audio items was to design and build a full range speaker that's ultimately satisfying if it can be done. And part of the challenge was finding an appropriate driver. And I found one, and I have a few theories about these drivers that are needed to do the job that I need them to do. And one, if I'm to believe this graph here, which I believe, this happens to be roughly, if I remember, a 10-inch paper cone, corrugated cloth surround driver with a whizzer cone. Beautiful design, classic design, as old as the hills. Perfect. And I love paper as a material. I do. And whizzers are fine with me. There are some interactions between the whizzer and the actual cone that leads to troughs and hills, and especially this guy right here. It's probably as a result of the whizzer. That's okay. There are certain things that purists will focus on, like extremely flat frequency response at the expense of anything else, and I don't believe that is really a factor. I think there are other things that play a role in the ultimate uh, realism of sound, and I'm trying to get at that with this particular design, and I think I found it. So with this full range driver, I want it to actually tilt up linearly, preferably at a 45-degree angle. We're almost there, from about 1 kilohertz on. I don't mind that we roll off and we still have energy at 12 to 15K. That's fine. No one can hear past 12K at my age or well below. Um, and few instruments reproduce that anyway. That's not information that's required for a great loudspeaker. It's just not. Now, another thing that, despite, or actually say, I should say, another thing in favor of this particular driver, in addition to the fact that I like this frequency response for a full range, I think it's important because I didn't mention, we want the sweet spot to be behind your head, and by the time we get done towing this speaker, it will be flat to the ear, but this extra energy will be reflected energy, which we want. And that's what soft domes and domes seek to create. Okay, so we're getting there. Now, another thing I like about this driver is the teal small parameters are so, some would say so awful, but I say so complementary to the design that I want to create. And what you're looking at here in the design I'm creating is the one in red. And you can see we have energy down in the 20s. Okay, we have 10 hertz here, and we have 20 hertz there, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. I must have miscounted somewhere, but we have 0, 10, and 20. So we have energy down to 20 hertz. From 30, 40, 50, we're only down from 1 to 3 dB. That's fine. That's A-okay. We have a 20 hertz to 12 kilohertz full range speaker here, which I've yet to see in existence. And not only that, if you look at this black line here, that's the suggested teal small parameter from the calculator. It's a whopping 900 liter box, which is half the size of your room. You don't want that. I've gotten the box down to 150 liters. That's about 5 square feet. No big deal. Just to give you an example, 5 square feet would be like a box that's 3.2 feet high by 2 feet wide by 1 foot depth. That's just an example. Okay, so I've gotten the box down to be that small, and not using this calculator, but using equations from a Helmholtz resonator. I went a whole different approach. I came up again with this 150 liter volume, and I came up with the port of being 10 centimeters. Okay, 2.54 centimeters per inch if I recall, but 10 centimeters in diameter circular, with 5 centimeters depth. No big deal to get this beautiful red curve. Now there's going to be some, there is always an expense to pay for this lumpiness in terms of, there won't be any port chuffing because the port is large and not deep. There will be some group delay, but not much. Nothing to, the group delay would be pushed up around here, and it won't be anything audible. I just can't imagine. So it doesn't affect the group delay that much, and everything else, it gets me where I need to be for this immaculate full range design. And there are no other drivers I've ever come across that have this particular frequency response and these particular teal small parameters that would lead to this design that could put me in a box this small. And this might not seem small, but it's small to get this kind of bass. It's quite amazing. Looking forward to building it. Whoops. looking, you probably can't see the, it says internal air box volume down here, so it's 5.045, if you can't see that. Um, but yeah, looking forward to doing it. It's part of the fun of the hobby. I'd love to build the ultimate full range driver and tell you about it, and actually use it in my room in place of the Klipschorns, to be honest with you. But anyway, sorry for the hoarse throat. I'm again outside for 6 hours working in the lawn today. It's in Virginia. We have every allergen you can possibly imagine. But nevertheless, I love it. Cheers, ciao. I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Love my audio friends. Over and out.